it's time for my favourite part of the show. It's the Travel Clinic. I want your recommendations on things, and I always read them out. I've got one coming up in a moment. Actually, it's not actually a listener, but it's a recommendation from someone about something to do in Bangkok that I've never done, which I'm going to do when I go there the week after next. Another email here from Alan and Irene in Kingston upon Thames says, in February, we're taking the Eastern Oriental Express from Singapore to Bangkok, where we will, of course, again stay in the wonderful Labua for a few days. How fantastic. I want to go on that train. The E&O from Singapore to Bangkok. How fantastic. You lucky things. Any tips on Singapore, especially hotels? Well, yes, Singapore I do know an awful lot about. Like I just said, my brother lives there. There are no bad hotels in Singapore. Let me just tell you that now. Singapore is a hugely organised, brilliant, first-class city. Everything is nice about Singapore. There's no filth, there's no dirt, there's no chewing gum on the streets. The road pricing system is absolutely unbelievable. I was going on about the congestion charge earlier on, because what I was saying, it's all you get is congestion with it. It's £8, and you get what it says on the tin. Exactly the right thing, congestion. In Singapore, they have a thing called ERP, which is electronic road pricing, which everybody has to pay. It's, and there are no cameras. It's not cameras. There's nobody spying on you. Oh, remind me to tell you about the cameras that I saw going down the A2. Oh, I must talk about the A2. Anyway, back to Singapore. The electronic road pricing system there is like 30p. It's $1 Singapore dollar. Okay, you do have to pay every time you go in and out, but the system works like this. You just have a little card that you charge up, like an Oyster card. You don't have to register it, and you put it in your car, and the machines in the barriers that go over the roads that you have to pay to go on just pick up that your card, because it's got a magnetic thing in it, and it deducts the Singapore dollar from your credit. That's how it works, and it's a massively, brilliantly organised city. Now, as for hotels, there are the classic hotels. The famous hotel is Raffles. Now, if you want a proper Singapore experience, and it sounds to me like if you're taking the E&O Express from Singapore to Bangkok, then that's definitely where you should stay. Raffles is the old hotel. It used to be on the waterfront, but they've reclaimed so much land there that it's quite a way in from the sea now. But it's the most beautiful building. It's got the long bar with the spit and sawdust kind of look. It's just lovely, and it is the place to stay if you're having the proper Singapore experience. Or the Fullerton. That's another top-class 5-star hotel. Quite expensive, both those hotels, but there are no bad hotels. There are no real cheap hotels. Now, if you want to stay something a bit more boutique-y and in a kind of more sort of happening kind of area, then I would recommend the Scarlet. It's a proper... I keep saying proper. See, I'm picking myself up on things. I'm going to stop doing this. The Scarlet Hotel is, I think it was Singapore's first boutique hotel. Very trendy, all very modern and very nice, and not as expensive as Raffles or the Fullerton. So try that. Now, a little recommendation that I read about this week to Bangkok. I've been to Bangkok many, many times, countless times, and I've never been to this thing, and I'm dying to go. And this is going to be on my list of things to do when I go next time, which is in a couple of weeks. It's called the Museum of Forensic Medicine. And apparently it's got like a body, like a preserved dead body in it. And I find things like that hugely interesting. Now it's an article written by Will Storrs in last week's travel supplement in the Sunday Times. And he was admitting that he's been around all the usual things, like everyone goes to see the Gold Buddha, everyone goes to the Grand Palace, you do all these things, go to the floating market, go up the river. And, he's kind of admitted that, actually, it's all a bit boring, isn't it? So he got on the internet and tried to find something that was completely different, something he would never have done before. And he found this Forensic Science Museum, which, honestly, I'm dying to go. I know it sounds terrible. It says here, the Museum of Forensic Medicine, where this elephantiasis swollen body part is to be found, is hidden in the back block of the Siriaj Hospital. Now, I've got a regular listener Tammy, her name is. She lives in Bangkok, and she's always telling me about things going on in Bangkok, about she bought a scooter and she rides around on the streets of Bangkok risking her life, as indeed everybody else who gets on a scooter or gets in a tuk-tuk even in Bangkok. Huge fun, but very dangerous. Now, I wonder if Tammy knows about this place, because she lives there, and I've never even heard of it, but I'm definitely going to go, because it's got things like, diseased livers and lungs with stab wounds and heads that have been dissected. I know, it sounds absolutely disgusting, doesn't it? But I can't wait to go, so thanks very much, Will, for that. Anyway, oh God, that's nearly all we've got time for. 28 minutes past 1.